that the Jesus of history is absolutely inaccessible to us because we know almost nothing about him. And so therefore, we should give up and instead focus on the only Jesus that we do have any access to, the Christ of faith. Well, I reject that notion for a couple of reasons. One, which is that the Christ of faith is just as inaccessible and just as malleable and hard to define, hard to pin down, certainly, as the Jesus of history. But also because while it is true that we know very, very little about the Jesus of history, that if you remove the New Testament from the equation, we know almost nothing about the historical Jesus, we know a great deal about the world in which he lived. First century Palestine is an era that has been exhaustively documented, thanks in no small part to the Romans who occupied this land. If you got 100 biblical scholars up on this stage, you could probably get them to agree on three things about the historical Jesus. Number one, that he's a Jew, and that seems obvious. Number two, that sometime in the first half of the first century, he started a Jewish movement, the principal goal of which was to establish what he called the kingdom of God. Now, what does the kingdom of God mean? There are 1,000 different interpretations of that, but there is fairly good consensus that that was the ultimate aim of this Jesus movement. And number three, that as a result of that movement, he was executed by Rome for the crime of sedition, for crimes against the state. That's it. That is all that we can say with any kind of confidence, and it's not even that much confidence, but any kind of confidence about the historical Jesus. So you can understand why even scholars will say, that's not enough. It's not enough. So it's a waste of time to try to talk about the biography of this man.